June 15th, 2002 in Missoula, Montana.
New Museum of Mountain Flying R. Preston Nash Jr. hangar. We just got the hangar finished. Well, it's actually not even finished yet, as you can see, but it's a beautiful building, and we're very proud to be in here, and we're very grateful that everybody came. With all the veterans from all the military services, please stand up so we can honor the greatest generation and the rest of the veterans. All veterans, please, from all military branches. We thank you a lot. I would like to introduce the Board of Directors of the Museum of Mountain Flying. I'm Stan Cohen, I'm the President. Thank you, thank you. And actually my wife Ann is sitting right over here. You want to raise your hand? And actually my granddaughter is there too, Nicole. And my daughter-in-law is getting ready to serve food someplace. Dick Combreck is the Vice President. Dick, are you here? Would you please stand up? We'll see Dick later. Dick's also obviously the one that found the Man Gulch DC-3. John Peterson, I think, is John here? He's our treasurer. I think he is not. Is John here? Okay. Laura Liegland is our secretary. She's the one at the ticket counter. You want to stand up, Laura, so they can at least see you? Chris Nydron. Chris, I know you're here. Can you at least stand up? Chris is our legal beagle. Jim Korn. Jim, where are you? Jim is our restoration expert. Jim led the restoration on our Twin Beach C-45, which is outside there. Fantastic restoration. Ken Roth. Kenny, where are you? And Ken we'll see later. Jim Vallejo, who owns the Stearman over here. Jim, you want to stand up wherever you are? There you are. Kathy Ogren, who has done, I can't say any more about Kathy. She's done more above and beyond the call of duty. And Rick Nash, who we'll hear from later, but you want to stand up now, Rick? I want to introduce some more people. This won't take too long. Debbie Alke, the head of the Montana Aeronautics Commission from Helena, actually flew in. Debbie, where are you? A few people associated, I can't introduce everybody that was associated with Johnson Flying Service, or we'll be here all night. We want to hear the music. A few people, though, I do want to introduce. Wally Small, his dad was the co-pilot on the fatal day in 1949 and flew our airplane. Wally Small's dad, Frank Small. We have two special guests here that came all the way from Boise, Idaho. Rod Snyder, who did a fantastic rescue of smoke jumpers in 1961 that prevented a second Man Gulch tragedy. And Rod came, where are you, Rod? Rod's got quite a story to tell, and we'll hear about him later. Also from Boise, we want to welcome Warren Ellison, who was a very well-known pilot for Johnson in the 40s and the 50s. Warren, where are you?
You're fine.
I know you're here someplace. So thank you for coming, both of you for coming. We also have a table of former smoke jumpers. Where's the table with the former smoke jumpers? Would you all stand up? You're old enough to have jumped out of 320. There you are. I think most of you probably jumped out of that airplane one time or another. Steve Smith, where is Steve? Is he here? There you are. Steve was the founder of the museum, along with myself and Dick Combreck. Steve has finished the second book on Johnson Flying Service called Sons of the Western Sky, which will be out at some point in the future. And we welcome Steve to be here. Is General Running here yet? Nell's Running? General Running, are you here? Yeah. Okay. General Nell's Running. As he told me, I think the other night, he's just an old boy from Frenchtown who happened to go to the Air Force Academy, and I think flew with the Thunderbirds, and he's retired now, a Major General, but he is the head of the 50th anniversary of the Korean War for the Department of Defense for the entire United States, and we sure welcome Nels to be here. We also have another general here. Bo, or is Bo Foster? General Bo Foster here? Bo, are you here? And we'll hear more from Bo a little bit later in the program. Janet Stevens from is representing not only the Airport Authority, but the City of Missoula. I also want to introduce the people who have helped us obtain and pay for the DC-3, the Man Gulch DC-3. Is Dirk and Kim Visser here? Are they here? Jason and Emma Lowe, I know you're here. Would you? And Mr. Tom Gummer came clear down from Anchorage, Alaska yesterday. I thank you for this. Thank you, Tom. Dick Combreck is here, as we've already introduced. Bill Boucher, are you here from First Security Bank? Later, okay, Bill will be here. And Kathy Ogren, again. These people all help pay for the DC-3, and it's, as I think I've said in several articles, the most historic airplane in Montana. We will restore it, and it will be a memorial to all fallen forest firefighters. I want to thank a few people. Also, we have the Civil Air Patrol who are parking cars, and they're in uniform. I guess they'll be in later on. I want to make a big thanks to Carson Veers. Carson, can you just pop your head out? Carson has been our food man for many years. He volunteers to do this. Why, I don't know, but he's done a great job, and we'll have food at what, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, or not 7:30, 8 o'clock or 8:30. And it will be food here and food over there. Jack Dimmons is not here. He's running the other museum. He's our executive director, and a lot of you that are associated with us have heard of Jack, an ex-smoke jumper, ex-paratrooper. So please go over and visit him during the intermission. I want to make a special thank you to Leslie Marcelli, my right-hand man, who's over at the bar. Leslie, would you at least wave? Leslie took over when I couldn't function for a few weeks in May and stepped in and took over my shoes basically and did a great job. And I really appreciate her. And she did really put this thing together for me. Also, I want to thank all the volunteers who helped not only to put this show together the last few days, but who have helped with the museum in the last 9 years. We did leave out one Brigadier General who actually I noticed when he came in, Dale Stovall, and he flies for FedEx. Dale, you are from Missoula, aren't you? Yeah. Would you stand up? He's in uniform. Oh, yeah, okay. Brigadier General Dale Stovall. And also, we're going to induct later on in the year more people into our Hall of Fame, which most of you have seen is out at the airport. And I'm just going to call off the names, and the ones that are here can stand up. Warren Ellison, we've already met. He was here, I think we thought, class of 41, started in 1941 here. Mo Owen. Mo, you're here someplace, aren't you? There you are. Mo's been around a long time. I think 1960 he started. Rod Snyder, I introduced from Boise. 1961, is that correct? Pretty close. Chub Riggleman. Chub, where are you? Chub actually started in 1948. And he's helped quite a bit with the DC-3. Frank Roshich started in 1945, I believe. Frank, where are you? You're here someplace. You want to stand up or wave? And I know this guy's here because I've been working with him for the last 2 days. Dale Giles, where are you? Dale, you want to stand up or wave? Okay. I forgot one important thing. We do have 2 people here that are in the Hall of Fame already. Martha, Mike Demers. You want to just put your hand up, okay? You want to wave? Mike was out here in the, actually pre-war teaching flying. And Ken Roth, who I've already introduced, is the other one that's already in our Hall of Fame. You want to do the flowers now, or? Okay. Somebody have the flowers? Dick, you got the list. You want to come up? Is everybody, I guess everybody's got a seat, so it looks like we'll be okay. We're going to give some flowers away. So I guess, are we going to take them out to them? Okay. Governor Marks, you want to come up for just a minute? Effie Ogren. And Mrs. Nash came clear from Cleveland. You want to come and get some flowers? This is Rick's mother, came clear from Cleveland, Ohio. And we have another Mrs. Nash, Rick's wife. And we actually have another Nash, Rick's sister. And she came from California. We also have Evelyn Hughes, whose husband Jack is in our Hall of Fame and was a very well-known Johnson personality, and she is where? Evelyn, where are you? Mrs. Kim Visser, you're here, I know. And Mike, do you want to accept flowers for the Missoulian? Unless we have somebody. Mike, where are you? Oh, there you are, right there. Okay, we'll get him later. He'll get him later. Greg, are you the only one from K-Pax? Do you want to come and get some flowers for your wife? Greg Schifferstein is the news director for K-Pax, and his wife is here. There you are. And the last one for right now is Leslie Marcelli. Leslie, come out and get your flowers. She's too busy serving beer and wine over there. Okay, I would like to introduce now the Governor of the state of Montana, Judy Marks, and her husband Harry is here with us, and she'll have a few words to say. And thanks a lot.
I appreciate the opportunity to be with you this afternoon. Flying is something that is so necessary in Montana. It's just hard to get from one end of the state. Yesterday here and saw the General, I think, for the Korean Memorial and the celebration of Flag Day, and it was wonderful. And it's wonderful to be here again today. I really do want to congratulate each and every one of you that was mentioned just now. This is a great, great accomplishment. I've flown with Dick Comerick, where are you, Dick? Back here someplace, that was up giving out the flowers. And a few years ago, we flew together quite a bit as I was traveling around the state. And he kept telling me about this museum and how it was going to come to fruition. And then I heard about the Man Gulch plane coming here at the theater one night and had a celebration over what was happening there in the movie of the Man Gulch. And then I talked to Dick about bringing out a plane that's wrecked up in the mountains, and I'm glad you haven't given up on that, and if we can help with that, we must do so. This is a great, great venture. We'll do that. So to each and every one of you, thank you for providing me the opportunity to join you here this evening for the official opening of the Museum of the Mountain Flying. And I'd again like to extend a round of applause to all of the individuals from the museum's president, Stan Cohen, mentioned earlier, to every person that had anything at all to do with the donors. We thank you very much for bringing back the Man Gulch plane. And for everyone that has had just a hand in this in any way, we want to applaud you. I do know that many of you here this evening were trained in mountain flying right here in Missoula. I've read the book about the Johnson Flying Center, about the brothers that flew, and when I read about where they landed in the mountains, I'm amazed there's one of you left that even flew with them. The places you went, the chances you took, and what a love you must have for flying. My husband flies. He loves flying, and it's something I think that must be, once it gets in your bones, there's something that does not ever leave. And the pilots keep saying to me as I fly with them, why don't you learn to land? And I just don't have that calling. And so I don't care to learn to land. If they're going to go down, I guess I'm going with them. But I really do appreciate those of you who do fly and get us around. The inception of mountain flying, Missoula has taken the lead in providing the necessary facilities, the trainers, and the resources. And in the process, they've built a national, international reputation for your various flying programs. It's evidenced by the fact of this museum and that you have over 200 members around the country. This is a culmination of 9 years' work. The Smoke Jumper program and the Aerial Forest Bombers are just two examples of the kind of unique training offered right here in Missoula. And that's why this is the perfect location for the new Museum of Mountain Flying. You know, in Montana, tourism is our key industry. Agriculture is number one, tourism is number two, and cultural tourism is a key component of that industry. And I'm so often impressed by the tourist phenomenon in Montana. So many tourists come to enjoy our remarkable natural beauty and outdoor activities, but once they're here, most want to learn more about the history and the culture of this great state. More often than not, once they're here, their cultural tourist experience meets or exceeds their recreational enjoyment. They fall in love with this state, and many want to move here and live here, and we welcome those of you who got here as quickly as you could from some other place. You truly are meeting a need here in Missoula. You're already recognized for mountain flying, and this museum provides visitors and guests the opportunity to experience mountain flying, if not firsthand, in a manner that's quite close to it. It is also my understanding that the U.S. Forest Service will be building a museum of the National Forest Service just down the road from here. This is yet another example here in Missoula that you are doing things just right. By clustering your cultural tourism activities into one general vicinity, you are helping tourists to make it more easy for them to plan their vacations, bring more visitors into our area. And again, I say to you, congratulations on your accomplishment. This is an incredible museum that will provide a great perspective on mountain flying for many years to come. God bless you, and prayerfully we can add to your exhibits as we go along, and we can all be a part of that. Bringing out of the mountains those things we need to bring out, the planes that are wrecked that have been laying up there and had their, it's almost a morgue on a mountainside. Bring it back, bring it to life, and let the people of Montana enjoy the history of what's up there. So God bless you all, and thank you so much for allowing both myself and my husband the privilege of being with you tonight. Good evening.
We have 3 more flowers to give away. We neglected Emma Eastwood with Jason. Emma, do you want to come up and get some flowers, please? And Tom Gummer and his fiancée from Anchorage, Christy. Christy, do you want to come up and, there you are. There's the Man Gulch donors. And we think that Barbara Combrecht should get a bouquet. Barbara? At least to put up a deck. Do we have any more flowers for your wife? I did neglect to introduce one person before we go on with the show here. John Seymour, the director of the airport, with his wife and I presume your daughter. And we have to be real nice to John and the airport board, and Bruno Fiona and Janet. I think Bruno's here and Janet are the only other ones. We now need to recognize Kelly Smith from the Airport Authority. Kelly has done a magnificent job for us and is going to do a presentation. Kelly, are you here? There we are.
We have a presentation here from the Airport Authority to further education, mountain flying, and to assist in the ongoing efforts of the Mountain Flying Museum. And we have a $2,000 check.
Thank you. I didn't know he was going to do that tonight. I would now like to introduce Mike McAnally, the editor of the Missoulian, who's going to do something, and I'm not sure just what.
My saxophone teacher is standing behind me, and I'm riveted with fear that she's going to hand me her sax and tell me to play one of the songs I played at a recital. So if you'll forgive me if I seem a little more distracted than usual. As we at the Missoulian, our Salute to the Greatest Generation project, it became apparent that one of the greatest things about the generation of men and women who fought for freedom in World War II was this: that their service to the community did not stop after the war ended. In fact, these men and women returned home and selflessly continued to serve their communities in ways great and small. So it seemed to us fitting that for our final Greatest Generation section, that we honor the achievements of some of those men and women, and that we also honor those men and women who may not have been members of the Greatest Generation, but who nevertheless served their hometowns in ways that captured the spirit of the generation that came before them. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes tonight to honor the 10 men and women who we chose and profiled in the section that's on your tables. Men and women that we chose from dozens of reader nominations. Some of our honorees are not here tonight, but for those of you who are, if you could stand or wave. And I need you to know I also have a certificate here for each of you, and I will hunt you down during the course of the evening and give it to you. First, Ethel and Jerry Dietert served as members of Missoula's medical community for years, and then put together a dizzying resume of service to literally dozens of Missoula nonprofit organizations. Second, Don Cole flew PBYs in the Aleutian Islands in World War II, and then served his hometown, Plains, for 44 years by publishing the town's weekly newspaper. A reminder to those of us who toil in journalism that our highest calling is public service. Third, Jesse Laslovich of Anaconda, who at the tender age of 19 decided to take a step that nobody his age had accomplished and got himself elected to the legislature. Now he says his goal is to continue serving Montana citizens. He is a reminder that our younger generation still is responding to the call of public service. Fourth, Dale Dahlgren. I don't think Dale is here tonight. My guess is that he's working Legion baseball tonight at the ball field that bears his name, testimony to his decades of service to the Missoula community. Fifth, Nancy Monroe's wartime experience fueled in her a lifelong desire to improve the health of our children through nutrition. Her ideas were controversial at first, but she endured and has helped to shape many generations to come. Sixth, when your horse is sick in the Bitterroot, Dr. Jack Ward is the man you call. For decades, Dr. Ward has gone well above and beyond the call, so much so that 300 people turned out to honor him at a recent rally at the Valley County Fairgrounds. Listen to these words from another of our honorees, Dorothy Sturgis. Quote, "I only know one thing for sure that makes you happy, that is doing good for others." And Dee's life of service, including work as an election judge and working with breast cancer victims, is living proof of her wisdom. Listen now to words from another of our honorees, Charlie Crookshanks. Quote, "I've worked hard and did the best I could. I hope I didn't make too many people mad," unquote. But the countless Missoulians who relied on Charlie to get an important job done in the community, from the Korean War Memorial at Rose Park to a Western Montana cemetery for veterans, know that his accomplishments will live on long after anyone remembers why they were ever mad at Charlie. Next, I don't think I have much more to say about General Beau Foster, except to note that this man's life and volunteer service serves as a veritable textbook of American and Montana history. Maybe the best thing about Beau Foster is how he's made it a mission to make sure that our younger generation knows something about honor, and sacrifice and patriotism. General Beau Foster. Finally, I don't have much more to say about Stan Cohen, other than to note that without Stan's work, I doubt very much that we would be here tonight, and in a building that is considerably more impressive than I had thought, and I think offers a great start, a great continuation to the Museum of Mountain Flying. Stan Cohen, our 10th honoree, is a hometown hero.
I don't know what else to say. I just have two more people that I forgot to introduce. Well, three actually. Beau, is Mrs. Turner here? Beau, where are you? Is Mrs. Turner here? Mrs. Turner is the widow of Pell Turner, one of our members, and the mother of Monty Turner, who most of you know. I'm glad she made it. I also want to introduce two friends of mine from my hometown of Charleston, West by God, Virginia, that showed up here the other day without my knowledge. Brenda Kidd and Brenda Thayer. They're at our table. And Brenda's going to move here with her sons here, and I'm going to get her to work here at the museum. So the last speaker should be a hero, and I can't say, I don't know what to say about Rick Nash. He's made all this possible. Rick, please come up, and I just can't say too much about Rick.
Thank you. You guys are hurting me. Quit it. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It's great to see all these people here in support of the Museum of Mountain Flying. I suppose I should get my notes out. I just want to say, did everybody get a door prize ticket? Everybody get a door prize ticket? Huh? Everybody get one? Where's mine? I would like to say a couple of things. I'd like to recognize a few people who've been very supportive of me throughout this whole thing. Stan Cohen, Dick Combrack, and Kathy Oberon. If I missed anybody else, I don't mean to step on your toes, but those three people have been a tremendous support, and I appreciate your moral support, you guys. Thanks. It's great. Okay, I'm just gonna read this. I don't remember my first airplane ride, despite the fact that I credit my dad for introducing me to aviation. My mom will tell you that while I was still in diapers, I'd stand out in the front lawn, point up at airliners on approach to Cleveland, Ohio, and say, "Gum." So I mixed flying and gum. Flash forward a few years, and I'm sitting in the back seat of Dad's Cessna 210 with my sister, Audrey. And both of us needed 6-acks when we flew, but not to barf in. We'd sit in the back and we'd fill them full of air from the vents in the back and then let the air out. And we'd sit there for hours just having a ball, filling a barf bag full of air. I do remember one flight we took to Lake Chautauqua, New York to visit our cousins who had a vacation place there. And I remember looking out the left side of the airplane. I think it's the left side, isn't it, Dick? And trying to decide what would be the best place to hang while we flew along. Was it the pitot tube, fuel vent, or the lift strut? I mean, some people have weird ideas. I also remember watching the terrain drop away as we flew along over a valley and wondering why the altimeter didn't suddenly jump. I finally figured that out later. Later, when Dad had his helicopter, he took me flying in that thing. And departures were quite a thrill since I never knew what exactly to expect. Sometimes he would hover taxi at 10 feet or so and then gain speed, and then zoom climb. Other times he would simply climb straight up and then tip the helicopter at a 90-degree bank, and I'd look out the window and be looking straight at the ground. It was great. I was quite fortunate, because sometimes he'd drop me off at day camp on his way to work. So how about this place, huh? I hope everyone is as excited as I am about getting some airplanes in this hangar here. But before I get to the part where I ask you to part with some of your money, let's talk about kids. Would you like to see kids and airplanes in here at the same time, like I do? The thing I see is that kids love airplanes. And I'm fortunate because I had an inside track to aviation. And there's so many kids who aren't as fortunate as I was. So I'd like to see this museum as other kids' inside track to aviation. I think that's pretty important. Get more kids out here interested in aviation, and aviation won't just come to an end. I'd like to talk about the DC-3 for a minute. The centerpiece of this museum is obviously the most visible and famous artifact. Here, of course, is the 24320, and it has some stories to tell. Did everybody knows its involvement with the Man Gulch tragedy, right? Yeah. Okay. Did you also know that it spent some time in the Monongahela River in Pennsylvania? I think a lot of people don't know that it was forced down by fuel starvation right before Christmas of 1954. And it's not really funny because 10 people perished not in the crash, but on their swim to shore. They survived the ditching only to die in the frigid waters of the Monongahela River outside of Pittsburgh. Thanks, Steve Smith, for writing a chapter in his book about that tragic loss. Some people here tonight may remember all too much about this particular airplane, whether the memories are pleasant or poor. And perhaps this airplane may symbolize the spirit of Rocky Mountain aviation. All the thought and the planning and the coordination and flat-out work involved over decades of operation. This airplane's owner wasn't the only outfit in town either. There were others. So without denying this bird's checkered past, shall we look forward to its future? And why not use it as a symbol of the spirit of mountain flying history, present, and future? You know, I look out across the sea of smiling faces, and I hope that I get to know all of you someday. And I'm grateful for all your support. I also hope that I will get to see you all again many times over, because our work is just beginning. Allow me to challenge each and every one of you to convince at least one other person to become involved and interested in this museum, the same way you are, by donating time and money to this noble cause. There is strength in numbers. And to paraphrase JFK, we're doing this not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Let's take just a moment to think about looking up to see this DC-3 flying overhead and feeling the satisfaction that by being involved, you helped put it there in the sky where it belongs. I also take this opportunity to officially kick off the museum's Endowment Fund Drive and urge you to give generously, because this project won't be easy and it won't be cheap. Then again, anything worth doing isn't easy or cheap. And I applaud your dedication, I appreciate all your efforts, and I know in my heart that your help in this project is an inspiration to the many people yet to come. I'm extremely proud to be involved with this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. So we're going to begin in just 1 minute. Thank you again, Rick. I also want, if everybody got a program, you can read more about all the donors for the airplane. Also, please acknowledge the sponsors. We do have some things, other things to look at. The Military Museum, which Bo Foster and I are also involved in, is in the corner. A little bit on Play Ball, Missoula, and we have some gifts. We have a gift shop, and we're going to have door prizes during the 2 intermissions. So let's go ahead and listen to some music and to our people here. So I guess we're ready to go. Thanks a lot for coming.